chickens eat? The short answer, anything and everything. They are pigs, and chickens are basically backyard garbage disposals. And they are omnivores. They like meat and vegetables. And so when I see vegetarian eggs being sold at the grocery store, first of all, it's either a lie or it is coming from chickens who aren't very happy. Chickens love to eat bugs and worms. That's what they forage around for. When you see a chicken doing the stereotypical scratching at the ground and pecking, they're picking up bugs. They might be getting some seeds as well, but they're looking for bugs and worms. So to have chickens laying eggs that are vegetarian, then they're missing out on a huge part of their diet that they typically would have if they were out and about doing whatever it is that little chickens do. So, what do I feed my chickens? Again, anything and everything. There's a list. You can find various lists online of what not to feed chickens. Citrus is one of them. Avocado peels is another. I don't have the list in my mind. Like, I don't have a mental list. Basically, if they shouldn't be eating it, they won't eat it. They'll just leave it behind. I learned that when my neighbor gave me lots of tomato plants, like the foliage that he had found as volunteers in his yard, and he was like, here, your chickens can eat them, and they wouldn't touch them. Turns out that they don't like tomato greens. They like the tomatoes, but not the greens. So my chickens get an actual pelletized food every day. I have a 10-pound feeder that I keep full. I feed them an all-natural layer pellet that I get locally. It's not a special like formula that I've created or something that a local granary has mixed. It's a commercially produced one. It's Neutrina Naturals, I think is what it's called. But it's not classified as organic, but it's non-GMO. As if I remember correctly. Like, I kind of searched around, and I have a budget in mind. I'm not selling my eggs for money. I don't have enough to do that. Last summer I did, on a small scale. I had 2 people that were buying from me. This year I'm not at all. Just it's more of a convenience factor. So I have to keep my budget in mind. So they get that every day. And then when it's time to clean out the fridge, they get everything from the fridge. They particularly like chili meat, or like chili, rice, mashed potatoes and gravy. They like the leftover pork chop from dinner that sat out on the counter all night. The watermelon rinds, the corn on the cobs after we're done eating them. Pretty much anything. And yes, I'm gonna get flack from this, but I do feed my chickens chicken and turkey. If a chicken were to die in the chicken coop for whatever reason, and it were to be left there, I can guarantee you in about 2 days, its fellow coop mates would begin to devour it. So I'm not too worried about eating a healthy chicken that's been cooked. I know that the bacteria has been killed off. It's protein. They don't care. I feed them scrambled eggs on occasion. Again, it's quick protein for them, especially during the molting season, which is in the fall when all their feathers, well, not all their feathers, but a bulk of their feathers fall out and they need extra protein to create new feathers. I think the first time, like, everyone around me kind of went, "You fed your chickens poultry," was after Thanksgiving. I roasted a turkey and we picked off everything that needed to be picked off. I boiled the neck, I made gravy. There was a little bit left over. I think I even boiled the carcass to make broth so that I could freeze it for whatever else. And then I tossed the carcass into the chicken yard and they had a field day. I've watched them catch a lizard and swallow it whole. I've seen them run around with a dead chipmunk, laughing at her sisters. Haha, look what I found, here's my treat. So I really have no problem feeding them meat. I don't pick up worms from the yard and take them to them, as far as like earthworms. Earthworms can, coccidiosis, which is a huge killer of chickens, actually comes from the soil. It's a bacteria in the soil, and I've read that earthworms can be part of what transmits that. So grubs and things that are on plants, yeah, I'll take those out to the chickens, but I'm not digging up worms, or if I turn over a bucket and there's a worm there, I'm not taking that down. My first forays into chicken raising was not a fun one. I lost a lot of chickens to various reasons, and one of those was coccidiosis. I choose not to feed medicated food, so I have to be very careful, and I didn't do enough of the natural preventative methods, so I do try to kind of keep tabs on that. I don't think that they have a favorite treat. There's not one thing that they're like, "Ooh, yay!" and they come running to. Anything that's tossed out, they will just snatch up and eat. Mr. Roo likes to bring treats to his ladies, so if I toss something out, he'll pick up stuff and bring it over and drop it in front of a particular one. It's very sweet, and they do what they need to do. Okay, enough rambling about that. I also feed them crushed oyster shells, which contain lots of calcium. Calcium is needed for eggshells. So if they don't have enough calcium, then the soft-shelled gross eggs come out that make you want to gag, because it's like an egg with no shell, or part of a shell, or something like that. And I also feed them crushed granite. I think that's what it is, but that's for grit. They need grit in their gizzard, which is part of their digestive system, to grind up food. The gizzard is not the crop. The crop is the big bulge you see on their chest. The gizzard is further down. It's closer to the actual stomach. And so they need that to grind up things like blades of grass, very like thick, heavy-duty, fibrous things. So you can actually buy grit in different weights. There's chick grit that's very fine for the babies, and then there's bigger grit that looks like straight up rocks for them to eat. So I don't feed those on a regular basis. They actually are free choice. They can take them whenever they want, and I just have the bag of oyster shells torn open and sitting in the coop, and a bucket of the grit. And I don't know, I've never actually seen them picking either out, so occasionally I'll just grab a handful and toss it out into the yard and they can go get it. I don't mix it with their food because I don't want to overdo it. They may not need it, so I don't want to force feed it to them. So that is what I feed my chickens. What do you feed yours? I would be interested to ask. And don't forget, subscribe. I need more subscribers. Bye, guys.